Hello ladies and ladies. Today, if you could not tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be reading for 24 hours. And you might think that I hate myself. I'm actually fine. I've been wanting to do this challenge for a while, so let's get into it. If you aren't familiar with this challenge, basically you read for 24 hours straight. A lot of people don't sleep. A lot of people don't do a lot of things and just sit down and read for 24 hours. But if I did that, I would probably not be here. Let's see how this goes. If I fall asleep, I fall asleep. If I don't, then I don't. And right now it's almost 11 a.m. It's a beautiful day. If you can't tell, the sun is shining on my face. I'm sitting on the floor. I'm going to pause when I have to go do stuff because I have to do chores and I have to do things around the house. The books that I'm going to be reading, I'm a mood reader. So when I finish a book, I'm going to pick the next one. I don't have a selection that I'm going to be picking from. My entire TBR is my selection. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you are with what I end up reading. Though I do know what I'm going to start with is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This is the third book in the Renegade series. If you haven't read this series, go pick it up right now. It's really good, and this is the last book, and I'm finally gonna figure out what happened. I'm like 41% in on my Kindle. I have it on both of my devices. This is not a device. I have both mediums. I'm gonna be reading a bit from here, a bit from my Kindle, depending on what I have to do and what I'm doing. But first, I do want to make myself some milk tea. Then I'm gonna sit down and read. Let's go do that. So I just realized that I didn't even explain what this book talks about, but it's been about an hour in. I'm about 55% in, and let me tell you what this series is about. We live in a world that has prodigies and non-prodigies, and what a prodigy is basically just someone with superpowers. So our main characters are Nova and Adrian. We have two sides. We have the anarchists, which are the villains, and the renegades, which are the heroes. And the way I'm doing this is because there's a gray area and gray line between both of them. Nova is an anarchist and Adrian is a renegade. What the anarchists stand for is they just want to get rid of the renegades because they think that the renegades existing is causing everyone to just depend on the renegades and not stand up for themselves, not try to defend themselves. They're always like, oh, the renegades are gonna come save us, and that's not always the case. Nova, our main female character, the anarchist, when she was young, she experienced that firsthand when her parents and her family she was just a kid and she was just praying that the renegades would come and save her. The renegades would come and save her. She was so sure that they would come, and they never came. Family ended up dying. But then her uncle came and he saved her, and her uncle was an anarchist and he just raised her to be an anarchist. So she's had this grudge against the renegades for pretty much almost all her life, and she just wants them gone and wants everyone to stand up for themselves and everyone to just exist. So what Nova does to accomplish this is she goes to the renegades, and they don't know what she looks like. She's the most wanted villain. Her name is Nightmare, but they don't know what she looks like. So she goes and she applies to be a renegade. She gets accepted, and she uses that opportunity to spy on the renegades so she can get more intel and more info on them to use it against them. During that process, she works with Adrian. Obviously, they fall in love. And the issue with that is they both have alter egos that they don't tell each other about and they both don't know about. First, he thinks Nova is a renegade. she is an anarchist, and she thinks that Adrian is a renegade when he is not entirely a renegade. Basically, Adrian also has an alter ego. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because I don't want to spoil it, but he also has an alter ego that he is not telling Nova about, and then they're both just thinking that they are these people that they are not. He thinks that she's a renegade, she thinks that he's just a renegade. That is not true. They both have alter egos that they don't tell each other about, and basically in this book everything unravels. We find out everything that we've been wanting to find out. They find out about each other, and it's just gonna be absolute chaos. What I really like about this book is she has like a cast of her characters along with their like powers and stuff like that, because when you start reading the series at the start you get kind of confused because you get their names along with their like superhero names or the villain names or the names that they go by, so you kind of mix up the two and you're like, okay, but who's who? So it's really nice that she has these on each of these books. The superpowers are pretty interesting and creative. Like Adrian, he could, like, when he draws on something, he could bring it to life. So he could like draw a, let's say, I don't know, a dinosaur, he could bring that to life. That is what this book is about, and so far we are in the middle of the chaos, and I really want to see how this is going to work out. I have so many questions and I want them to be answered, and I feel like the ending is not going to be happy, because how is it going to be happy? Anyways, I'm going to keep reading this for another hour, I think, and then I might have to go do stuff, and then I'll go back to reading. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Stop recording because I had to pick up a package, a huge package. Guess what's inside? Books. I got more books. I'm so excited for these books, but you're not gonna see them in this video. They're gonna be in another video. It's probably gonna be out before this one, so I'm gonna just link it over here if it is. If it's not, then go look for it. Before I film the haul for this video and then go back to reading, I did want to discuss something about a theory I had. I had a theory about one of the characters, that they were responsible for something, and now it's being turned on to another character, and I'm like, what? Like, this character has been so quiet the entire time that I didn't suspect them, and then now I'm like, this actually makes sense. Like, Adam Sandler, what are you doing here?
So, ow, okay. Adam Sandler? What are you doing here?
Waiting for them to play Gangnam Style.
Like, when did you come into the picture? When did you become a problem? Like, I'm really excited to know what happens next and who did what, but we shall see. I'm gonna be filming this haul, and then I'm gonna go back to reading, and then I'm gonna go do chores, and I have to cook dinner at some point. I'm gonna be bringing you guys along anyway, so consider this a vlog at this point. Ignore all of this. I'm too tired to look proper. It's actually the next night of the next day. Let me explain myself. So I was editing a YouTube video that was supposed to be out yesterday night, and my Wi-Fi decided to not cooperate and to randomly die on me. So I had to leave my house, and by the time I came back home it was really late and I just passed out asleep. So there's that. I'm reading now. I'm almost done. As you can see, I will be finishing this tonight. I'm like 4 hours into the challenge. I'll finish this and then I will be updating you guys. and hopefully I will stay awake and read and pick my next read. We shall see.
Hey. Hey. How y'all doing?
I fell asleep. In my defense, I did finish Supernova though, so clap that up because that book was big. This was crazy, genuinely. I can't believe that the series is over now because this was the last book in the Renegade series. Let me just say, Marissa Meyer is not afraid to kill off characters. She's not afraid. The epilogue was insane. I was not expecting that. I had a whole other theory in my mind and nothing from that theory happened. That was incredible. I think the first and the last books are my favorite. The epilogue was, I love when books have like, in their epilogue, they have like a cliffhanger or a plot twist that leaves you just sitting like, what? That's how I felt reading that. I highly recommend this series. Anyways, I'm gonna leave all my ratings for all the books that I read at the end of the video so I could give them some time to like marinate in the back of my mind. I know what I'm gonna pick up next. We have 18 hours left. My next read is gonna be a quick mystery thriller. I'm going to be reading The Inmate by Frida McFadden off of my Kindle. Frida McFadden is a very hit or miss author for me. I've read 2 books by her. One I liked, one I didn't like. We shall see how I feel about this one. But I feel like her books are like really quick to get through and the writing is so easy and you just don't have to use your brain. So I feel like it would be good for me to like get through it. I will see you when I have an update on this. So let's get to reading. Very quick update about what this is about so far. I'm gonna say the things that happened in the first chapter, so it's not really a spoiler. We have Brooke, who's our main character, and she's a nurse, and she's about to go work at a maximum security prison. She's about to go work in the clinic at a maximum security prison. Now, why she chose to work there out of anywhere else, I don't know, but she said she applied to like 60 other jobs, and this was the only job that like accepted her. And the thing is, she doesn't want to come in contact with one of the prisoners because he is her ex-boyfriend and she was the one who imprisoned him. Like, he's in the prison because of her. So why would you go work there if you don't want to come in contact with him? I don't really understand. I don't really know. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe there's some things that we don't know yet, but yeah. That's what I know so far, and I'll be continuing. This is really fast-paced. I'm going through this really quickly, which is a great sign. So I'm gonna go back to reading. Small update, but the main character is already pissing me off. When she came to work here, one of the people who worked there told her specifically, don't give the prisoners any information about you, like none at all, because they could use that against you and they are not good people. They're here for a reason. Don't give them any personal information. And she's like, yeah, I got it, I know what I'm doing. The first man she examines in the clinic, he asks her if she's married, and she remembers the woman who told her that was named Dorothy. She remembers Dorothy telling her, don't tell them any personal information. So that goes through her head, and then she thinks, well, he doesn't seem harmful, and this question doesn't seem so bad, like nothing bad's gonna happen to me if I answer it. And she answers him. Like, it's already off to a bad start. She specifically told you not to tell them any personal information. I feel like she's gonna get herself into a trap by just giving them out information about herself. And I have no empathy because, girl, we just started. the main character just pissed me off even more and I need to talk about it. So this woman is giving her personal info to the prisoners, and not just that, she meets up with her ex-boyfriend in the prison and she tells him that she has a son. She tells him a few significant things about her life. Isn't this the man who literally tried to kill us? Why are we being so friendly? It doesn't make sense. And then right now her son, like, he wants Lucky Charms cereal, okay? So she has to go grocery shopping. She has a babysitter. She could just call her and be like, hey, can you come take care of my son? She's like, no, I think he's old enough to sit by himself, because he's like, I want to be alone. I don't need a babysitter. I'm grown. And she's like, yeah, I think you're old enough to sit by yourself for an hour or two. He's 10 years old. 10 years old. What are you talking about? With everything that's going on, you think it's okay to leave your son at home alone, who's 10 years old? Okay, I'm gonna be continuing this. Also, it is another day, if you haven't realized, but I will say something. I think this video, I'm gonna just make it like how much I could read in the duration of 24 hours. I cannot sit on my butt for 24 hours straight and just do nothing but read, because of multiple reasons. I have a lot of things I do throughout my day. I can't just sit for 24 hours and read. And if I do that, I will be in an extreme reading slump for the next year. So this video will just be how much I could read in the course of 24 hours. We have like 16 hours left, so we'll see where this is going. It's really fast paced. It's the only good thing so far. Otherwise, the main character is just being really stupid and pissing me off, and I don't like when, you know what, I'm gonna leave my I'm gonna leave my thoughts for the end, because maybe there's a reasoning she's being so stupid. Maybe she knows something that we don't know. We shall see. Anyways, I need to stop attacking my camera and I need to go back to reading. So I'm gonna do that, and I will see you when I finish this, because I need to stop crashing out over this main character and just give you my final thoughts when I finish this, so we can move on to the next book. I hope you cannot hear the TV outside, but I just finished The Inmate by Frida McFadden, and I am so pissed off. This was so bad. I already know what I'm gonna rate it. I don't even need to marinate this in the back of my mind, but I'll save it for the end of the video. But I already know the rating for this one. I don't like when authors make characters stupid on purpose just so there could be a plot. Like, she was just making dumb decisions left and right. Like, it's just, like, I get making like one stupid decision, like, yeah, you're human. But if your entire life is just dumb decisions, none of this would have happened if she had just stayed in her old home. But no, she had to move back to the place where everything bad ever happened to her, and bring her 10-year-old son with her, and literally put this child in danger, and then complain about it. And like, one of the characters who is literally the problem and the reason for all of this was someone that wasn't even really properly introduced into the story. So when I was reading that this character was the one who was involved and was the reason for all of this, I was just like, literally my entire face when the plot twist came around. I was like, because who are you? I don't even know you. I don't care about you. And suddenly you're telling me you're the reason for all of this? Like, usually when you're telling a story like this, you're gonna introduce me to all the characters. So I have to be thinking, oh, I think this character did this and this character did that. But if you bring a random character and be like, oh, I was the reason for all of this, and I don't even know them, I'm just gonna be like, who's this guy? Who invited you? This is the stupidest thing I've ever read. And the epilogue? Are you serious? That is a 10-year-old child. Are you for real? It's not even realistic. It doesn't even make sense. Like, no. I don't even know if I'm going to be picking up a Frida McFadden book again. I read 3 of her books. I liked one. and didn't even like it that much. I need to pick up a good book after this because I am pissed off. I have 13 hours and 30 minutes left of this challenge. I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next, but I think I'm gonna pick up a fantasy. Okay, I have a lot of good books on my Kindle, but I think I want to pick up a physical book because I need to feel it in my hands so I can stay grounded after what just happened. I think I'm gonna read Fable. I was torn between Fable and The 13th Child, but The 13th Child is a gothic fantasy, and I feel like gothic fantasy gives more fall vibes, so I'm gonna wait until it gets a bit colder before I pick that up. And I have been wanting to read this for a while. I've had this for a long time. I only have the first book, and this is going to be my first Adrian Young book. I hope this doesn't disappoint me because I love Daughter of the Pirate King and I love books with pirates, so I hope this is good. Apparently this is supposed to be a pirate fantasy. I don't exactly know what is this? Unremovable stickers. I don't exactly know what it's going to be about specifically, but I will be updating you once I get into it and how I feel about it, all of that. We shall see. Good morning, everyone. I read a bit last night and I'm gonna read some more right now, but I wanted to tell you what this is about so far. I'm only like 10% in. Barely, but so far this is about, we have our female main character, her name is Fable, and her father randomly abandoned her in the middle of this island. This island is like full of pirates and thieves, and I'm pretty sure he's a pirate himself because she mentioned him having a ship and then him throwing her onto this island and leaving her when she was 14 years old, and she's now 18, and she thought he'd come back for her, but then she stopped believing that after a while because he never came back. And she plans to save enough money to go get her own ship and go and try to find her father herself. We don't know why he threw her there, we don't know what's going on, but she developed some crazy survival skills by being in between all of these thieves. She had to like find a way to survive. This island's also like in the middle of nowhere. Like if you look at the map, this is the island. This is all like water. So far I like the writing. There's just a lot of piratey words that I don't really know and have to look up, but that's fine. I will continue reading and I will update you. Good morning. I have quite literally just woke up, if you can't tell by my voice, but I finished this last night and I wanted to share my thoughts on it. This was actually going viral for a bit on BookTok and on Instagram, and in my opinion it's not all that. Let me tell you my exact thoughts about this. Let me break this down. Okay, first of all, the world building in this was absolutely perfect. The writing was beautiful. I genuinely felt like I was on a ship. I genuinely felt the sea. I felt the water around me, the salty air, everything that was described about this world. I genuinely felt it and I loved it. The world building and the writing were amazing. My issue is not with the world, it's with the characters, because the characters are really flat. It feels to me like you drew this beautiful world, like this Da Vinci world, and then you just put stick figure characters onto it. You know what I mean? Like, where's the depth for the characters? And you're telling me that these characters care for each other and these characters care for each other and they're friends, but there's nothing that you haven't shown me, any dialogue, any interaction between the characters that makes me love them, makes me know more about them, makes me know more about their personalities. You're just telling me something, but you're not showing it to me. I would have loved if there was more banter, more communication, more dialogue between the characters, but every time the characters talk, it's always for the sake of the plot. like this was really quick to read. It was only like 350 pages, and I liked that. It was really quick to get through, but I would have liked more pages if you were gonna add more connection between the characters and make me like feel connected and get attached to these characters, because right now I frankly don't care about these characters, you know? And everyone's saying it's a slow burn, and let me just say something. It's definitely slow, like the romance is definitely slow, but there's no burning. You just, after like 200 pages, he's just randomly like confesses. Like, okay, what have you done all those times to make me feel like you like her? Or like, where was the banter? There was no talking, there was no anything, there's no interactions, and then randomly they just discovered that they liked each other after like 200 pages. So I didn't like that. Those are my thoughts on this. I already know what I'm gonna rank it, but I'm gonna leave my ranking at the end. I don't think I'm gonna pick up the second book. The ending was really good, but because of the fact that I just don't care about the characters because of their lack of depth, I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the second book. I still have 7 hours and like 40 minutes left. I don't know why time is moving so slow. I've been reading, I finished like 3 books and we still got a lot of time. I think I'm gonna pick up a romance, something you probably never heard me say, because I want to make up for the lack of connection that was in this book. So I think I'm gonna read I Hope This Doesn't Find You. This book was really famous also on TikTok and on the internet, and maybe I'm dumb for picking up another book that went viral, but I've been wanting to read this for a while. What I know about this is that it's academic rivals. I don't know much. I just remember some parts of people saying that she was sending hate emails to her academic rival and it wasn't supposed to reach him, but it reached him. Something like that. Anyways, I'm gonna start this and then I'm gonna update you on my thoughts and on what this is truly about soon. Oh, and look at my little Kindle stickers. They're so cute. Anyways, I'm gonna go read now. So, last time you saw me, I was reading I Hope This Doesn't Get to You. Well, that didn't happen. I look very tired. I just woke up. I ended up reading If We Were Liars. Let me tell you why. I was reading I Hope This Doesn't Get to You, and I was enjoying it, whatever, and then my friend was like, I just watched If We Were Liars and you have to watch it right now. And I was like, oh, doesn't that have a book? I would rather read the book first and then watch the series so I could hate to my full potential. So after a lot of fighting, I ended up picking up the book. I put it on my Kindle and ended up reading it, and I totally forgot about I Hope This Doesn't Get to You. And then I was like, I'm gonna get back to it after I'm done. When I was done, I didn't feel like getting back to it, so I didn't do that. And there was nothing wrong with the book. It was actually perfectly fine. The writing was fine. It was entertaining. I was just old. I'm just too old for it, okay? It's for a younger audience. The way it was marketed made it seem like it wasn't. So once I started out, I realized this is actually for an older audience, a younger audience, and I'm too old for this. So yeah, grandma, whatever. And our 24 hours are finally over. I'm never doing this ever again. Ever. The only time I would do this is if I'm gonna read 24 consecutive hours, like sitting down on my butt reading for 24 hours, but I would never do that alone. If I had someone like physically with me, reading with me, then I would do it. I feel like that would be more fun. Otherwise, it just feels like a medieval torture method. This was horrendous. Even though I didn't even read for the consecutive 24 hours, like I split it up, it was still really draining because like you're sitting down to read and enjoying your time, and then you remember you have to put a timer on, and then you have to like track how many hours you read, and you have to pause whenever you go up to do something. It just makes the reading experience feel like you're in jail, you know? I didn't like it. But anyways, anything for you. Let's go through the books that I've read in those 24 hours and my ratings for them and my thoughts. We started off our 24 hours reading Supernova, and that was the last book in the Renegade series. That series was incredible and I highly recommend you go pick it up. I've already said what this series talks about in the start, but this is a dystopian sci-fi fantasy. I really liked how in this book it felt like our real world, and like the issues that were discussed were things that we deal with in our everyday world. So that also, like, us comparing it to the world we are currently living in, and I was like, wow, that is crazy. Gray area between what is right and what is wrong. Like when I was reading, sometimes I found myself unable to tell whose side I was on, because I felt like both sides were making a valuable point. There's like a huge gray area sometimes between what is right and what is perceived as wrong. So I really like that. The ending, the epilogue, it kind of pissed me off a little bit because I wanted these two people to reunite and they didn't. I gave this, I think I gave it 4.5 stars. I'm gonna put my Goodreads ratings and all my ratings over here for all of these books. Great series, highly recommend. I think my favorite were the first and the last book. I gave the first book 5 stars. The first book was incredible, and reading it for the first time, the experience is insane. And then the last book, I gave it 4.5. I think the one in the middle, I gave it 4 stars. So overall, it's like a 4.5 series. My only issue with the series, sometimes I couldn't tell like what the character is feeling, or like the character is feeling anything at all. That is my only issue, is that sometimes I just couldn't tell what the characters were feeling. I wanted to know more about what they were feeling, and I wanted more interactions with the characters. Other than that, it was beautiful. After that, I picked up The Inmate, which is the worst thing I could have ever done for myself. It pissed me off. I gave this 1 star. I'd give it 0 stars if I could. I don't like when authors have to make a character absolutely stupid and make like 100 mistakes just so we could have a plot. Like, is your plot your character being absolutely stupid? My sister is in the kitchen and she's being very loud. If you're watching this, if you're gonna make a mystery thriller for your readers, I want to be able to make a theory and guess what actually happened. But if you're gonna bring me characters that I don't even know about and tell me, oh, they were the reason, I'm not gonna care, because I would have never been able to guess that, because it's not possible. It's just so stupid, it's so cheap, just like how I feel about pretty much almost all Freida's books. And probably I'm not gonna be picking up another one of her books. I may be lying, but I don't care. Oh my gosh, at one point, the guy, her ex-boyfriend, who's also the father of her child, who attempted to kill her, she leaves her son alone with him. Why would you do that? Go with them. Stupid. Anyways, after that horrendousness, I was like, I need a fantasy, and I picked up Fable. I ended up giving this, I think, a solid 3 stars. Let me tell you why. This was my first Adrienne Young book, and her writing is absolutely beautiful. I've heard nothing but good things about this series, and I guess I can kind of see why people like it, but if someone told me they didn't like it, I would also understand. I liked it, and like that's it. Like it's nothing more than like an acquaintance like. That doesn't make sense. I loved her writing so much. The writing was incredible. The way she describes the world and the world building is amazing. Like, I could generally feel the wind in my hair and the salt like in my mouth, and I generally felt like I was on the ship with them, and I could see the sea. I felt like I was there. I imagined every part of this world that was described, every detail, every sound. The world is incredible. Absolutely 0 complaints about the world. My issue was with the characters. This was very plot driven, to the point where every interaction the characters would have together would be for the sake of the plot, and like that's it. Like, I like there to be some dialogue with the characters just because they are friends, because they are lovers. There's like things going on, make them feel like they're real people to me. when she got on their ship, they didn't like her, and then suddenly they started warming up to her and liking her. Okay, where's that portrayed? Like, where are the interactions between them that are not for the sake of finding out information, finding out anything that has to do with the plot? Where's that interaction? And then the main male character has liked the female main character for like as long as he's known her or seen her. How? They don't even know each other. They genuinely don't know each other. They don't talk, they don't anything. And then now they're suddenly in love. I don't it makes no sense. Like, it's a slow burn because they fall in love like after, or like they mention that they are in love like near the end. But over here there was no burning. Like, it's a slow burn. There was just slowness, no burning. There's nothing. You're just like insta love, but with 200 extra pages. I feel like it had a lot of potential. The ending was actually pretty good. The cliffhanger was great, but I don't care enough about the character to pick up the second book. So that was Fable. And then after Fable, I picked up I Hope This Doesn't Find You. And like I said, I dumped it and picked up We Were Liars instead. We Were Liars, I gave it 4 stars. I liked the writing, but I also didn't like the writing. The issue with this for me is this book felt like it had a lot of emotional aspect. Like, it wanted you to be hurt. I can't be hurt and care about the characters so much if you are writing it in the form of a mystery thriller book and not in the form of a book that you want me to feel things for, you know? A perfect example of this book, of a book that is a mystery thriller and writes it with emotional aspect that absolutely destroyed me, was If We Were Villains. Nothing is ever gonna top that for me. I'm sorry. The writing in here was more of a mystery aspect than an emotional aspect, so when the time came for me to feel emotional, I didn't really feel that emotional. And I really wanted to be upset. But I liked how everything added up. Like, once I found out the plot twist, all the things that were mentioned before made so much sense, and I liked that. I liked that it wasn't just pulled out of the author's butt. Like, it actually made sense, and it actually contributed to the plot, and everything was like, if you read back knowing the plot twist, you'd be like, this makes so much sense. My friend told me to watch the series first, and I said no. I need to read the book first so I could hate properly on either the series or the book, but she said the series is better. So I will be watching the series, and I kind of want to do a video where I read books and then I watch the movie adaptation for them. I feel like that would be pretty fun, but I have the attention span of a squirrel when it comes to movies. Like, the fact that I have to sit down and watch a movie is like takes me months to prepare for. Those were the books I read in 24 hours. I'd say I read 4 books and a half. Those are not 4 books and a half, but some of them are on my Kindle, and another one of them I'm not taking down from my shelf. Will I be doing this again? I hope the hell not. And thank you all for watching. Also, if you have not followed me on Instagram yet, you definitely should, because I'm doing a series with my cat on there, and you should go watch. And that is all. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye.